Did WWE really make Toni Storm lame? Nyla Rose gives a middle finger to a transphobe, Deonna Purrazzo scores 2 awards for Impact Wrestling, and Raw's main event segment with Maurice really could have used some glamazon. Welcome everyone, this is DS and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly, the last of 2021. The tumultuous year this was, but this is the last one. Let's start with Raw. This might be one of the worst Raw I've seen live. So we got the news even before Raw. A huge number of superstars, including Bianca Belair, Zelina Vega, and Becky Lynch, were pulled from Madison Square Garden live show due to COVID effects. And then Seth Rollins also confirmed on social media that he tested positive for COVID. So we were expecting the absence of star power for this episode, and it was really, really bad. But the only match we saw was 24/7 champion Dana Brooke and Reggie versus R-Truth and Tamina. And this was more of a Reggie and R-Truth show, even though the champion is Dana Brooke. Where is the opportunity? Opportunity. This was a short match and Reggie picked up the win for the team. I hate that Reggie somehow get involved with the women. I guess the only good thing I can say is that Dana Brooke looked so beautiful in this match. It must be the championship. It was like a championship glow. But on the other hand, it's really sad to see Tamina go from somewhat credible tag champion to this mess. I'll just be happy for Dana and Tamina for taking this opportunity and taking that TV time. I'll say meh. We then saw backstage interviews for Nikki, ASH, and then Carmella. Nikki challenged Carmella and Zelina for the tag team championship, unclear for when. And in this promo, she basically acknowledges that Rhea doesn't need her as a partner to be successful. Carmella later accepts the challenge and basically talk about how she will win because Nikki is a weak link of the team. Again, I'm hoping they're building for Nikki Ash's heel turn, and this is probably the best they could have done with the absence of Zelina and I guess Rhea Ripley too. I'll say meh. Alright, the main event was Maurice and The Miz's wedding vow renewal segment. I gotta say, Maurice looked absolutely beautiful in this gown, and Miz looked really hot too. But yeah, they were in a very tough spot being the main event of this shitty Raw. But I had hope because the promo package before the segment showed Maurice and Edge discussing Beth Phoenix. And even after when Edge crashed the wedding vow, he was pointing around, teasing that someone's gonna come out. So I was like, oh my god, the Beth Phoenix, the Glamorous is gonna come out to save Raw. No. And honestly, she was the only person that could have saved this miserable f***ing Raw. Instead, Edge released some like black liquid onto Maurice and Miz and was like, it was a good time. I'm sorry, Maurice and Miz, you guys are a beautiful couple, in love, I need that too, but girl, Will Beth show up on day one? What do you guys think? It is NXT time. We had a brutal street fight match between Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. This match was started backstage right as Raquel came out of the locker room. Raquel may lack charisma, but she sure does make up for it with how hard she hits every move. Her intensity is everything, and in this street fight, it definitely stood out. When she was swinging the scaffold, that was so impressive. By the way, I know NXT superstars take promo classes and all, and they better enroll some of these referees in this classes too.
Get to the ring, come on, let's go. The match cannot start over here. What's going on, Dakota? Knock it off through that table. Knock it off. Get in the ring.
Please say it with less authority. This was a non-stop action, and oh my god moment after oh my god moment. So when it ended, it didn't seem like it escalated, but it just ended. So I guess it kind of tells the importance of pacing. The ending seemed a bit anticlimactic, but overall this was a fun match. I say stratified. After Raquel won the match, she then cuts a promo saying that she wants Mandy Rose to come out right now for the women's championship match, and she won't leave until she comes out. And she actually remained there after all the commercial and Tony D'Angelo promo. She really did not leave. And then Cora Jade came out and saying that she should be the one getting the title match. I'm like, oh my god, she's such a brat. But I totally do like this a lot more than what Toni Storm is doing as an underdog in SmackDown. We're gonna talk about that. Mandy Rose then FaceTimes in, accepting both their challenges for a triple threat NXT Women's Championship match. And then she gets Gigi and JC to come out and attack Raquel and Cora. I love when Mandy Rose was just like on her FaceTime, like posing, duck lips and all. It was like, when is this ending? After this whole segment, we saw randomly Karen Q in her pajamas sleeping in the audience. So I guess she's really doing 180 from Tian Sha. Another match we saw was Io Shirai versus Elektra Lopez. This match was fine. I mean, can Io have a bad match? But this had nothing to really write home about. The only thing that really stands out is Zion Quinn coming out with mistletoe in his mouth and Elektra losing the match because she was distracted. And girl, I feel you. This match was meh though. Meh. Let's go to AEW Dynamite. We saw a Britt Baker promo about Riho. They brought up the interesting fact about how Britt Baker never defeated Riho before, I guess, and this was their build-up for their match at Battle of the Belts, January 8th. I guess it's their like Clash of the Champions type of pay-per-view. And then we saw a match between Nyla Rose and Ruby Soho for the TBS Championship Tournament semifinals. At first, Ruby had some issues taking off her jacket, and it kind of worked out. The jacket was stuck in Ruby's hand, and people were cheering when the jacket came off. I love that Nyla is a funny enough performer to turn this into like a whole fun thing. Speaking of Nyla Rose, there was a person in front of the row holding up a transphobic sign against her. Nyla gave him a good middle finger, and he was kicked out of the venue. First of all, I'll say the douchebag. Secondly, I want to take this moment to talk about how amazing Nyla Rose is. I can say with confidence that she's one of the most entertaining women on that roster. I know that she's playing this monster heel character, but in 2022, I hope we can see way more TV time for Nyla Rose so we can see the full spectrum of her awesomeness. Like what Oksana said, AEW, let Nyla entertainment us. Later in the match, Vicky gets a riot kick, now renamed as No Future, and just like she didn't sell Black Widow from AJ back in the days, she didn't sell Ruby's finisher here. This match ends with Ruby picking up the win from Nyla with a top rope No Future, and I'm gonna be honest, even with it being on top rope, I still feel pretty meh about this finisher. Hope Ruby comes up with a secondary finisher move because, I don't know, Kris Statlander has like 3 finisher moves that I'm obsessed with. Match overall was okay. Again, love Ruby, but I'm still waiting for that classic match that will redefine her. Hopefully, we'll get that from the final match of this tournament. I'll say meh. Meh. Now, Impact Wrestling had a recap show, Best of 2021 Part 1, and we saw Deonna Purrazzo awarded with the Knockout of the Year, which is so well deserved. And then Bound for Glory Knockout Championship match, Deonna Purrazzo versus Mickie James, was awarded Knockout Match of the Year. Again, this match was so phenomenal with great wrestling, great storytelling, and just insane action back and forth, well deserved. Going to AEW Rampage, we saw Kris Statlander versus Leyla Hirsch. It's great seeing Leyla back on television again. This match had very good back and forth with amazing technical wrestling, and watching this match made me reaffirm my love for Kris Statlander. I fully believe that she can be the star of AEW Women's Division. She already has that boot thing that is very over. She's a solid competitor that brings out the best matches out of everyone, and she's so exciting to see in the ring. Just clean up that alien mythology, and I think she's ready to be the main star. Leyla, as always, is also great. Visually, she looks so naive and grounded, almost vanilla to a point, but that almost ironically helps me get surprised all the time whenever she does those crazy things she do in the ring. By the way, that slap to Kris Statlander was amazing, and that spider crab finisher Statlander picked up the win with was so great. Again, she has so many great finishers. Ruby, take notes. After the match, Statlander tries to shake Layla's hand, but she slaps it away, teasing a heel turn. Is this something we need from Leyla? I'm not sure because she seems like such a perfect babyface, but I'm sure she'll surprise me again when she does do the heel turn. Love this match? Straticide. SmackDown. We saw the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Toni Storm and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte dominated most of the match until the end, and to a point where it felt kind of like a Beth Phoenix versus Mickie James match. The problem is, Charlotte isn't Beth Phoenix. Character-wise, she isn't as dominant and powerful like Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. Maybe she wants to be, but I don't know. I don't know if it really worked. Also, during this match, Charlotte fails that double moonsault again. It looked so bad. Throughout this feud and this match, it's unclear if Toni Storm benefited from this. In fact, they've made Toni Storm look like a loser. She was crying. And what's so mind-boggling about this whole thing is that she's naturally a cool person. She's got the charisma, and she even won the Mae Young Classic and championships before. So I think this underdog thing is just not working for me. This is not working for me and Toni. And she didn't even get to show much in the ring either. The finish was also boring. It's lazy. Girl, After this match, we saw a Xia Li segment. Xia said she doesn't like women like Natalya crushing other people's spirit like vultures. Crowd reaction in this promo was so piped in. To a point, it almost seemed comedic. And I like when she spoke in Chinese. Like people like me, where English is their second language, we might be able to show more of our character through our mother tongue. And I think this was a case with Xia Li too, but maybe just throw in some subtitles so we can get both the intensity and the meaning behind it. This promo for me was, me. Meh. And that is it for the last weekly review of the year. Thank you so much for being on this journey with Ring the Bell this year. We've grown so much this year thanks to all your support. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen next year for Ring the Bell. I hope everyone a Happy New Year, and you can find me at DSShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. And I'll see you next year. Bye!